All right, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Bears Film Room. My name is Dave, cover the Bears for SM, joined by my good friend, co-host, also Chicago Bears writer for SportsMockery.com, Ficky. Of course, we got our producer, Jack, on the sticks today, and we have another post-game victory pod, which is 4 in a row now. I think it's probably the longest streak we've had in quite some time, at least since doing the pod. And yeah, 4 wins in a row. This one was I don't want to say ugly because I've said it, but now that I think about it, I mean, there was a lot of like good stuff in regards to just honestly how this team played. Like there was a lot of bright spots outside maybe the passing game, but we're gonna just go ahead and go with instant reactions over the Bears win over the Saints at home. Fick, like always, I'm gonna start with you. Then we'll go to me and then, of course, Jack. But instant reactions on this fourth win in a row for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, first I want to talk about the 4 wins because you're right. We have never seen since doing this pod this long of a winning streak. The last time the Bears won 4 games was actually in 2018 where they ended up going 12-4. So does that mean we'll go 12-4? Who knows? But this is definitely we shouldn't just play that off. Like 4 games in a row is hard to do in the NFL. It is hard to win games in the NFL, as we saw with this game, because at one point we looked like we might actually end up losing this. So it's very tough. Now, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? The good, defense. Dennis Allen has been a madman. They had 4 turnovers today. Al Harris, actually the defensive back coach, joked that they'd have 4 turnovers before the game started, and they ended up doing it. So the defense definitely showed up today. And to be honest, Spencer Rattler actually hasn't turned the ball over much this season. So they've really, they did things that other defenses hadn't been able to do to Spencer Rattler, who's been having a pretty decent season so far. So shout out to them. The great is got to be the run game. Ever since the bye week, the run game has been fantastic. Before that, we were talking about, we owe Swift an apology because we could not run the ball, and Swift looked fantastic today. Not only him, Kyle Monungai as well. Now, the ugly, Caleb Williams. Not a great day at the office. We'll go over the stats. Easily his worst performance of the year, right? Which, you could look at that in 2 different ways, and we can kind of go into that, but we just have to call a spade a spade. It wasn't great for him. And guess what? Starting quarterbacks have bad games. It happens, right? You're not going to be perfect every game. What's great about it, though, is that even though he was bad, he didn't put his team in situations to make them lose, right? He had the 1 turnover, and that's about really it, right? Only took 1 bad sack. So, yes, was it the best day at the office? No. But did he do enough damage to where he dug a hole for this team? No, he didn't. Obviously, the defense helped, giving them good field position, and Jake Moody hitting all his field goals. But that's kind of what I said. Defense looked great. Special teams did their job. Offense was iffy when it came from the pass game, but the run game made up for it with having over 160 or something rushing yards. So overall, great win. I'm not going to complain about that stuff when we win 4 straight and you go in and you do what you need to do and move on and get ready for next week to continue the streak.
Yeah, I think you laid it out perfectly. Good, bad, and ugly. There's just a lot of it was really just really good mix. I think the Bears defense is really starting to come into its own. It sucks because of injuries. Like, I don't know how much they can maintain as far as like leading the league in takeaways and creating them, but they are taking it away at an elite level. Very 2018 type feel when I look at this team and that, on that side of the ball. And then even with the quarterback, it's funny because in the beginning of the season, there was moments where the passing game looked really good. And over the since the bye, truly, it hasn't been what I thought it would be, at least through 7 games. However, the run game, I think the stats were DeAndre Swift has 313 total yards over the last 2 weeks, 2 touchdowns. Kyle Monungai, Jack's guy, had a career day today, first touchdown. I mean, it's funny because like the run game was what we were complaining about, the lack thereof over the last first quarter of the season. Now, since the bye, it is unbelievable. I mean, they ran it down the Saints' throats. Could not stop them. And it was really, really fun to watch. It's just, I wish this game, I really thought we were going to be like, okay, we're up 20-0. We're going to get a Caleb Williams 2 touchdown, maybe 250-yard game. Who cares about the pick? However, for me, it felt like it rattled him. It really made him gun shy. Actually, it was weird. Like, he felt gun shy, but also he would take just really crazy risks. I think you had a really funny tweet, Jack, about, on one shoulder, it was Mitch Trubisky, play it safe. The other was like Jay Cutler, I'm just going to throw it, sling it like Jay did. And I think that's pretty close. I would have loved to have seen Caleb just run a little bit more. I know we laughed, about Justin Fields got benched today, but he would run. Caleb, I feel like, has the ability to run and pick up some easy yards, even first downs, and keep the momentum going, get the chains going, keep the chains moving. And I feel like he's done well, especially against, teams in the past. But there's like today where it's like he just refused to run past the line of scrimmage. Like it was against the rules. It was kind of bizarre. But overall, the Bears defense, the run game, super, super exciting stuff. I'm never going to apologize for winning because as Bears fans, we don't get it a lot. 4 in a row. We're used to the other way, 4 losses in a row. So to get 4, I'm going to excited. I'm smiling. I think Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson was always going to take time. Sure, it's game 7 and some people want it now, right? But for me, I feel like it was always going to take at least a year or 2, in my opinion, to truly get to where him and Goff were, if they could. And so got to allow him some time. But yeah, it was ugly. Probably the worst game of Caleb Williams' season, in my opinion. But with that, the Bears won. And that's really crazy. Like, that's growth. Winning and then going to and then learning to grow from your mistakes is way better. We said it all last year with Matt Eberflus. We just could not win those games where we should have, and then have that ability to have that good energy in the locker room, move on to the next game, go throughout the week, and you won last week. It's a lot more fun, and I think it's beneficial to obviously not play your best football, but have the 4-2 record. Sure, we were last year, but it does feel a little bit different. So overall, I'm not going to panic. Of course, I want them to be better. But I'm excited to see what they can do. So, Jack, instant reactions for you, man?
Yeah, you kind of nailed it. I think it would have been really awesome to see us hit like 40 points, like we win 40-17, just a big blowout against one of the worst teams in football. But like Dave said, like you can't complain. Like it's an ugly win, but it's a win. Like the offense didn't look great. There was the run game really opened up, which is kind of rare because usually it's always the other way where like we never have a run game. We have to force the pass. And then we usually lose because of that. But but I think we looked really good. Big shout outs to DeAndre and Kyle. Like I think they just absolutely killed it and carried us there. And I know we'll talk about it a little bit later, but Jake Moody might be him. Some are saying, I'm kind of saying it, but a lot of people are saying it. Jake Moody might be him. Cairo might need him.
He's 8 for 9.
He's 8 for 9. Game winner. Like, I mean, he walks up. There's not even an ounce of doubt with him. With Cairo, like he hasn't had too many long field goals yet, but no. I don't know, man. I think Jake Moody looked really good. There's not a single complaint I have besides but it would just be like Caleb just had a few mistakes, but it was never anything like cost. Like the pick sucked, but he never did anything that was errant and got somebody hurt or just was lackluster. Like it was just not a great game.
Yeah, I think someone had a good comment kind of explaining. I can't remember, but he just looked uncomfortable. That's all it was. Like it felt like he couldn't get his feet set. Like it just did not feel fluid or smooth in the operation. And so it led to just some missed throws and things of that nature. But I know as fans, we want to win games because of Caleb, right? That is important. But you know what's more important? Winning games. I don't care how you do it, right? It doesn't. There's been tons of times where the Chiefs have won games. Not like Patrick Mahomes has had a bad day, and guess what? Their defense, especially the past 2 seasons, where Patrick Mahomes didn't do what he needed to do per se, and the defense kind of carried the ship, right? But they still won. At some point, they win because of Patrick and others, but it's not going to be every game. So I'm not going to complain about that. Obviously, this wasn't his best day out the office, but if this is the worst we get from Caleb Williams, then I actually kind of feel hopeful that we haven't even seen the highs. That's what I'm saying. We've seen this is probably going to be the lowest. He doesn't throw a lot of multiple interception games. Actually, I don't know if he's done that in the NFL, maybe once. He barely did it in college. So if this is his worst performance, which we'll get to in a second, I can take that. And you win? Come on. Because typically, like Dave said, when this happens, typically these are the games that we fucking lose. We're on the other side. We look like the Saints.
Yeah. Right.
Like every time. So yeah, not great. Let's get into you good, Dave? Let's get to then the game recap because I kind of want to go over how the numbers looked here. So Okay, so obviously we won 26-14. They had 2 touchdowns in the first half. We had 2 touchdowns as well. 4 field goals. We were talking about this. Moody might be him. I mean, you make 4 this week. You made 4 out of 5 last week. You're 8 for 9. Kind of crazy. Passing yards, obviously, we did not have a lot. I think actually I should be updated. I think Caleb had 172 because that 8-yard pass at the end to Colson Lovelin. 224 rushing yards, which is crazy. If you get over 200 rushing yards in the NFL, typically that means you're going to win. We had 23 first downs to their 16 first downs. Obviously, our defense had 4 interceptions because they got the one at the end. And then we had 4 sacks as well. 2 of those from defensive backs as well. I think Tremaine had 1. Montaz had 1. Kyler Gordon had 1. And then Jaquan Brisker had 1. So
sacks. Yeah.
Yeah, sacks. Yeah. So dominant performance there from the defense.
And they could have had a couple more, like at least 2 more with those penalties being assessed to them to play, of course. Yeah, negated the sack, especially I think one was Brisker. But yeah, overall, I mean, when you look at the numbers, yeah, it's interesting. You should feel a little bit better about this one. I saw Ben Johnson was asked about how do you feel about the offense, and he goes, it's just not good enough, not efficient enough as far as like the passing game.
For sure.
It's funny because he looks down. He truly does. Like, I'm sure he's going to be excited in the locker room, but it's like you had the passing game going for a little bit early on in the year. Now it's kind of flip-flop. You got the rushing game. So we'll see. I think it's interesting. I think you said you'll take this as far as I came in a little bit. You'll take this as far as Caleb Williams being his worst game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right. Like just 1 turnover, maybe could have had like 2. The snaps were also weird with Dolman. It's like
that was crazy.
I don't know if they just weren't the cadence that him and Caleb. Something was off. Something was messing it up. And you're at home, so it's even more odd to have those issues. But overall, if Caleb plays like this, it does remind me of like I don't even want to say it, but like 2018, where you just need Mitch. You needed Mitch just to be good. Right, make the throws when he could. I don't think the Bears defense is there quite yet as far as, what they were in 2018. But I think there's a lot of optimism too, where you expect, I think Caleb is going to play better. Like I believe it. I think if this could be his worst game of the season, we'll take it. He obviously Rattler had, bone or back breaking interceptions, in my opinion, that really, swayed the game. That Kevin Bayard, the first interception, he should have had 2, but that first one on the deep ball,
what the hell was that?
The Saints are kind of momentum, like they're moving the ball a little bit. I mean, that swung the game, in my opinion, in regards to that. That was a huge, huge play. All pro type player, in my opinion. So overall, I mean, I'm excited about this team. They have some winnable games, but as you saw today, you can lose these games just as easily. So it was very nice and refreshing to see the Bears. Sure, it got close within 1 score game, but they found a way to. In the Ben Johnson era to kind of put this one away relatively easily. So I'll take that.
Absolutely. Again, if this is Caleb's worst game of the season, it could get worse. I'm just saying. But if this is his worst game of the season, we'll be fine. Look, on the other side of the ball, we saw what a really bad game can look like. And you see it across the NFL all the time. Multiple pick games, just not like really shooting yourself in the foot to where you can't give your offense a chance to win the game. And that's what Spencer Rattler did on the other side of the ball. So I'd rather take what Caleb did 9 out of 10 times, well, every time, than compared to what Spencer Rattler did, because that's much harder to come away from. Again, you win the turnover battle in the NFL, more than likely you're going to win the game. So I know we're going to be positive about the show because we should. So let's just knock out the negative stuff real quick. We got to look at Caleb's numbers. Let's bring up his recap here. Okay, so on the day, he was 15 for 26, 172 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, which is actually interesting because typically we at least see something there. 1 interception, 0 rushing yards, which you talked about this, Dave, Jack. There was times it's like, you can run, get 5 yards, 6 yards. Yeah, there were so many times. I understand he's trying to look downfield all the time, and that's totally fine. But once you see there's nothing there, take off. So that was interesting why he wasn't doing that. And then he had a QB rating of 61. Let's go then to the tracker as well, the QBR tracker. So this was obviously his worst performance of the year. We talked about it. You can see there he only had a 61 overall rating after having a good bounce back from last week. This week he kind of followed with the dud. So hopefully next week he can bounce back again. As you can see, he typically has, if he has a lower rated game, he typically will bounce back the following week. So hopefully we see a spike there following up. Okay, now to good. I guess this is maybe not great news, but let's go to the 4K tracker as well and see where he lands out. So based off of last week, he was expected to be at 4,008 yards, I believe. And after this dud of a game, 172 passing yards, it brings down his yearly average to 225. And as you can see, you need an average of at least 238 to hit 4K. So currently, he is on pace to not break 4K. One game can change that, so it's not like a concern, but the numbers are the numbers. So that's where it's at. And it makes sense. Like overall, this was not, this win had nothing to do with Caleb, had to do with the run game, the offensive line, and the defense. And that's fine. They got the win, but we had to call out that's the only negative part of the show is right there about just Caleb's numbers per se. But he got the win, so he did what he needed to do.
Yeah. And I think he's speaking right now. I think that's what he would say as well. Like he's got to be better, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. That's all that matters. And at the end of the day, on Wednesday, we're going to feel really good. 4-2. Yeah. There's gonna be optimism. You were 4-2 last year, but like I said, I can't stress enough. Ben Johnson is an incredible coach. I know we're gonna get to our meters here in a little bit in regards to Caleb and Ben, but I think sure, like maybe a couple questionable play calls, but not like it's not like last year where you're like, what the hell are they doing? It's just It's more of like maybe an end around. You're like, maybe save that for the red zone, right? Like a jet sweep. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think he's just such a good coach. And the thing is, they're 4-2. He's going to be on their ass. He is going to be livid this week. In regards to, he touched on it in his presser a couple minutes ago about the Bears defense. We're not doing enough for what they're providing us. Takeaways. And we have how many points? It should be like double,
Well,
and
we talked about that last week, right? There were so many times in the red zone where, Moody had 4 field goals again. So that's 2 weeks where it's 24 total points when it probably should be like 40 points instead, right? If a couple of those are touchdowns. Because I think they had at least 7 red zone drives or 7 appearances, and they went 2 touchdowns and 4 field goals. That's not cutting it. So
also another thing is, I think what grows productivity is I think going to a practice after a win and tweaking things rather than losing and then going to a practice for a week and kind of having to rebuild and like reset and try to figure out a new way to win. So like Caleb does have a great game. I would rather have that because then this week it can just be like, we need to work on this, this, and this, and we'll be good to go. And you'll be 100% at your full max capability. Rather than if we lose, he has a horrible game, like 2-3 picks, looks bad, and then it's just like it's a whole fucking offensive reset. So I don't know. I'm still super, super optimistic. I don't want to make it sound like I'm being like, oh, well, Caleb had a bad game. Like I'm concerned because I'm not. I just think if anything, it's a good thing because then you continue to trust your coach and grow and, So
I think the difference is, Jack, is the environment around him is why you probably have more confidence because you're like, that you've got good coaching, the roster's in a better place. That the things can get fixed per se, right? And it's not a firestorm of how we felt last year.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right? Where actually, week 6, did we lose a coach already at this point? I think what's his name was out. The Gooner was out at this point. The defensive coordinator, the Gooner, what's his name?
Oh. Allen.
So, right, wasn't that last year?
Alan Williams.
Alan Williams, yeah. Or was that the year before?
Did you? That was last year where where the DC got fired or I guess resigned.
Resigned.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Yeah, well, there's reports of why that is. You can look into it. But anyways, the point is though, is at this point, like at this same kind of time last year was the Fail Mary was like, our first coach is getting resigned or let go or whatever. And then we saw what happened after that. So I think we feel a little different about this 4-2 versus last year's 4-2 because we have faith in the environment and the culture that's being built. So I just want to double down on that because I agree completely with you, Jack. There's definitely, I don't think we're over here super concerned like, oh my God, Caleb can't be that franchise guy. It's more just like he just wasn't his best day, and that's okay. Hopefully he can get coached out. It's going to take some time. There's going to be peaks. There's going to be valleys. That's just kind of the nature of the business. So, Dave, you're muted.
Yeah, nature. Yeah. Yeah, there's a comma here, Gooner, question mark. Yeah.
Go do your research. I'll let you guys figure that out.
Anyways, I think the overall, 4-2. it's funny. I just want to like, I wish we could like fast forward to next week. I want a little bit more. I want to, it's like we won. I never, ever, I'm going to be excited about that, but I just want to see how this team bounces back. Like, and the fact that we have to wait a whole nother week, is good because they got to prepare. Obviously there's some injury concerns with Cole Kmet, Tyreek Stevenson. I think they're actually going to be missing some time, significant time, perhaps even an IR stint for maybe both. So we'll have to wait and see on those. But I think some cornerback additions could be coming too, maybe via trade, obviously the waiver wire. But like I said, I wish we didn't have to wait until next Sunday for this team to play. But at the end of the day, this was a short week. You played on Monday night. It came out. Obviously, this was almost a trap game. You really, truly felt that. I think everybody did. There was a graphic going around that I think every single analyst picked the Bears to win today. Yeah. From I forgot. I think
NFL Network,
CBS or NFL Network.
NFL Network.
And so when you see those, I don't feel good when I see that. Like you don't see it very often, but when I did, I was like, this is bad. And the Bears won. They came out short week, took care of business, really did some good stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm excited to see what this team can do, especially if they start putting things together really on all phases. I don't think we've truly seen one, maybe since the Cowboys game where it was all phases, kind of firing. And I thought today we can get an explosive type game, and they left a lot of points out there, in my opinion, where they were up 20-0. At that point, I thought they could have been up 30 plus. So Ben Johnson can get them lined up. So
for sure. I'd totally agree. Okay, before we go to our game balls, let's go to our first ad read here. First off, thank you for watching the BFR Podcast, the number one show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you've watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the number one show for the fans by the fans, the BFR Podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move to our next segment here. Jack?
Yeah, let's get to the game balls. This is actually a good one because I feel like there were so many people you could have probably picked. But I'm going to go first here. I'm going to go Montaz, right? We talked about this in the pregame show. We talked about he's kind of been the talk of the town for this past week, is like, when is Montaz going to look like that multiplier that we needed? And to be honest, to start the game, he looked like that guy. He had the back-to-back weeks now of a forced fumble, right? He got his sack, and that was honestly a big starting point for the game. The offense should have scored 7 instead of 3 there, but like that's how you set the tone. Not only that fourth down stop the Bears got, that was also Montaz on that play, which is actually, if you watch the replay, which was kind of crazy, he wasn't even set. Montaz, TJ Edwards and him are trying to like make an adjustment, and they're both like standing up, not in position, and just pure strength and just like reaction. He was able to get in there and make the play. And then also, I think at one point, I think he had 2 tackles for loss, maybe 2 or 3. So he was just a wrecker back there. He set the tone. And honestly, that's kind of what you wanted to see. There's other players as well that I think on the defense, you could probably pick 2 or 3 guys that could have been the MVP of this game. But I feel like Montaz definitely looked like that $98 million man that we signed. So good for him, and hats off to him as well.
Yeah, I like Montaz. It was hard to kind of pick the one. Like you said, Ficky, it was difficult this week. So
good problem.
Hats off to Montez Sweat. We talked about a pregame. We're like, hey, if he has a good game here, another one next to stack him, you can be looking at 6-7 sacks midway through the year. Feel a lot better about, his production. So that's a good step for him. My game ball went to Kevin Bayard. I think he's playing at all pro level, safety. He should have had 2 interceptions today. I think maybe the one touchdown to Chris Olave, where he was like late on a read, breaking up that pass, and obviously Olave caught it. That was probably like the only bad play, in my opinion, outside of Deshaun Wright, not being able to stop and obviously knocking the ball out of Bayard, who would have had his second one, which would have been number 6 on the year, but he has 5 interceptions on the season. and that is just incredible for a safety.
NFL.
He has 33 since 2016, and that leads the NFL since that time frame in intercepting the ball. And then I think, you said he leads NFL interceptions too.
I think he's tied.
Not at cornerback, right?
No.
Or is that for corners and safety?
I think he's tied for first.
We'll have to double check that, but he's having a insane season. Him and Brisker and Kyler Gordon. It's really fun to watch those guys. I wish everyone else was healthy, like Stevenson, even Terrell Smith, who's out obviously for the year, and of course Jalen Johnson. So Jack, I know Jack's game ball. I wanted to go with him too, but I want to stick with.
He switched it up.
I did switch it up. So
I know,
DeAndre Swift, there was
he
had a big fourth quarter run, and then I was like, you know what, dude, he's opened up this entire game. Like, shout out Kyle Monungai. That was who I had first. I wanted to do Kyle because obviously it was like first career touchdown. Like, he just balled out. He looked great today.
He did.
DeAndre just looked a little bit better in my opinion. I think he kind of looked like the Philly DeAndre Swift, or like even like the Detroit one from forever ago, where it was just like, this guy is a game changer. And we talked about it a lot in the intro of this. Was the pass game didn't work, the run game opened up the field, and then that's solely the reason we won this game. So DeAndre Swift, game ball, hell of a game. Back-to-back games too.
Yeah, back-to-back. Well, him and Monungai. Monungai looked good last week as well, so I'm happy for that tandem. I know it's funny how the NFL is such a week-by-week situation, because, I mean, you look from week 1 to week 4, we're like, dude, we got to make trades. We need new guys in here. Like, this running back room is dog water. And then now you're like, no, I think we have two. Obviously, every week won't be like this, but you've seen at least enough data now. You're like, yeah, these two are definitely serviceable enough to get us wins, right? And so it's just funny how easily that can kind of change on a switch. So shout out to Ben Johnson. I don't know if it was something over the bye week that particular did it. Maybe they changed up the type of running. I think I saw someone out there saying that they're running more wide zone type of runs, which fits DeAndre Swift. So maybe that's like they're just playing more to his strengths. But whatever the hell Ben Johnson and team did, it is working. And shout out to them, because if we didn't have a running game like today with the passing game we had, there's no way we win that game at all. Not even close.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, sometimes I was like, just run the ball, because sometimes they went back to passing, and I'm like, this is not working.
It's not working.
However, I do like. I want to stick with some things I don't like. Odunze, Caleb had a ball to him. I think it was in the second quarter, and Caleb kind of eluded, made some guys miss. He's looking where, again, this is where he could have ran probably for about 5-10 yards maybe. It's hard to tell. These defensive backs and even linebackers are quick, so who knows how much he gets. But it looks like there were some easy yards for him just to run. Instead, he throws it to Rome. Actually, throws with anticipation, because Rome is coming back to the ball. So he releases the throw before even Rome looks his way. So the ball's coming. Rome sees it in time, hits him in the hands. He just doesn't catch it. And it's a tough catch, but it's like that. How many times this year have we been like, you need to probably catch that one? See,
I'm kind of indifferent on that one, because there's definitely the ones previously. Yes, if you watch the replay, why? The defender literally pulls his arm. So like it does hit him in the hand.
Sure.
Arm gets like it wasn't like we've seen.
I think DJ Moore catches that though. Like DJ's like, we've seen him just catch stuff where it's like, holy crap.
I agree he should have caught it, but I think some people kind of didn't notice that tug on the arm. I agree. Like, we expect Rome to catch that, but I actually think it was more difficult of a catch than what people are kind of playing it out.
The problem I think also that boils in, it's not just that one catch. How many times we've said we're like, we expect Rome to catch that, and that's the problem in my opinion. Because Rome, I love him, he's going to be so good, but some of these drops he has to clean it up. And the reason I'm going to hold him to a whole nother level than I do even Zacchaeus, right, or these other receivers in the league, because he is a top 10 pick. He, I believe, could be a top 10 wide receiver in this league. He has all like the traits, the intangibles. I have a very, very high level of expectation for him. And in my opinion, DJ Moore is one of he makes some insane, really high difficulty catches on the daily or every single game usually. And so, and then when it's needed too, like his hands are just so sure. So for me, I expect Rome he needs to clean that up, because we're 7 games in, and I think we've had this topic We've discussed some of these drops at least probably 7 times.
What's crazy too though is he'll make like a catch like he did last week. I know it was negated, but like he's also made really tough ones. And it's like, I get it though. You need to help, especially in a game like this. You needed to help out your quarterback.
I want it just from a consistency standpoint. I want that consistency where, it's so funny. I hate saying this. It feels very nitpicky, but there has been consistency where him and Rome, that connection's been the consistency on that offense sometimes where Caleb's always looking his way and he feels like the number one read on a lot of different plays. But for me, him to take that next level, next step, and if and he knows it too, but just to improve is to let's ease on the drops because I really am curious to see how many he has so far.
So I actually looked it up. So this is through 5 games, so it didn't count today. But through 5 games, he had 18 drops, and that put him at 13th in the NFL. So he was tied with Keenan Allen.
His 18 drops?
Yeah.
This year?
Mm-hmm. 5 games. So probably one more. They probably counted the one.
That can't be right, Fick.
19.
18 drops, Fick?
Because Brian Thomas has 6. That's a vivid number, and everyone's like,
well, I wonder what this data is pulling from. So
way.
it says
Hold
here,
on.
I don't know what the data source is pulling from. But Devontae has 29, Jerry Jeudy has 28, Chris Olave and Brian Thomas has 24.
Drops.
Yeah. But some different, depending on what the data source is, some people determine
crazy. If he had 28 drops, I think we would be having a lot more. We'd even having a worse conversation.
Could it just be incompletions when targeted?
I don't know. I don't know the definition.
I'm pulling up the NF or PFF right now and see what they have.
Because I know like FTN defines a drop different than like PFF defines a drop, which probably different than what NFL Next Gen defines a drop. So I don't know what this data source is.
Hold on, I'm going to find this.
I do. Rome also had a weird game to me only because like even on his completion, if you guys, I don't remember when it was in the game. It was the right side of the field. And then he like stepped out of bounds. I think it was like a 12-yard gain.
Mm-hmm.
Like even then, it's just to me again, kind of
okay. Here we go.
I don't want to nitpick, but
so Rome has heading into this week. He only had 2 defined drops by PFF, and the Jerry Jeudy and Brian Thomas, or Jerry Jeudy has 7 drops. Brian Thomas Jr. has 6. CeeDee Lamb has 5. I don't know exactly where those stats are pulling from, Fick. But,
well, I think it's the definition because again, it's still the same thing though because it's the 3 players you named.
26 drops.
No, but look, the players you named are still the same.
Dude off my
players
team.
From my list.
26 drops.
It's all about definition, though, right? So whatever they define a drop as. But the point is, it still was Brian Thomas and Jerry. What?
What do you mean define? Where's this? 26 drops?
Look, that's what the data source is using. This is Sumer Sports, which is known for their data. So whatever they define a drop as.
No, they need to redefine whatever the hell they're defining there. That's horrible.
But it's still the point is this, right? Because you still said Jerry Jeudy's ahead of him, right? You said that
7.
I know, but the point is the ranking's still the same. He's still going to be he's up there in the drops list. Yeah. He has too many drops. That's the point. The point is he has too many drops.
There's a lot of people with 2, a lot of people with 3, like receivers, like the top, like Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams. I mean, CeeDee Lamb. They're the things that when you get Justin Jefferson and Rome Odunze are tied with 2 drops. So for me, I think, like you said, each site's going to define it differently. I think the one you're pulling from is quite. I don't know what they're doing. PFF, I think, is a little bit more easier on the receiver. They base it off a little bit different factors in regards to defensive play, corners. But Rome, I would say he has more than 2. I would say he probably has around that 5 to 6, 7
more than likely
this year, in my opinion. He had 26 though, Fick. Like I said, that wasn't.
He didn't. No. He didn't have 26. That was the leader. Devontae Adams had 29, according to their
Jesus. Yeah, he just had a crazy game today.
He did. So. Well, it was weird. He had five receptions. 3 of them were touchdowns. Devontae Adams, what a game! But yeah,
you said Somer Sports.
They're known for their data.
Those guys.
Yeah. But so it's probably just some sort of definition. I'm trying to figure out what it is, but it's going to take too much time. I'll figure it out.
If anybody knows, let me know because that seems high.
No, hey, look, I agree. That's just I was like, oh shit, 29, 18. They had like double digits. So I wonder if there's just like targets. Some people do like if it's a target drop or a target non-catch, even if it wasn't on the wide receiver. Like if they think if it's uncatchable, but they might be accrediting that to the wide receiver, while PFF is saying that's more of a quarterback stat. I don't know. I'll have to look at it, but interesting.
Okay.
Either way, he has too many, which I think
or
is
like incompletions. It almost seems like they're counting it as an incompletion and a drop.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, they're really saying fuck you wide receivers, but because 29 drops is a lot. So, but again, the point is that Rome has too many for what we'd expect from him. I mean, look, he's still having a great season, so we're definitely being nitpicky. But in a game like today, where your quarterback really needed help, you're hoping that you can be that guy to secure it. But you know who I'm actually really excited about? He doesn't get enough targets yet, but every time he's targeted, he makes a great catch. Colston Lovelin. He had another one today. I think he had one last week, like that toe touch drag over the side. I think there's a bad ball to Colston last week from Caleb, and he like did a low snag to grab it. I'm actually like excited to see how that works. And maybe, obviously, I don't want to wish injury on anyone, but Cole Kmet's being out. I wonder if that creates an opportunity that maybe we see a little bit more of Colston Lovelin unlocked, right? So,
sure.
I don't know what your thoughts on that, but
I think Colston Lovelin, I'm glad you brought him up, Vic, because he had a play similar. So last week on the game-winning drive that set up the field goal, it was like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5 on that final drive from Caleb, and they dialed up a really good play. Looks like it was designed for Colston Lovelin. Nice little easy catch. He falls to the ground. It's a first down. Obviously, they run the ball a couple more times and get a chip shot for Jake Moody, who makes the kick, obviously. Today, now very less pressure, but it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5 again. Or I'm sorry, it was 4th and 1, 4th and 2 or something like that. And basically close out the game, or if they allows the team to potentially get the ball back, and maybe it gets interesting, maybe it doesn't. But goes right to Lovelin, very exact same play. They pick up 5 or 6 yards. So for me, I love Lovelin when it comes to the pass catcher, even the blocker. He also had a false start or two. He had a false start and then a penalty where they called OPI. So he's been the target of some really bad calls on him. So I'm excited to see him in the offense more involved. But I think he also needs to be sped up a little bit more too. Which Cole Kmet, if he's out for extended period of time, I think it's gonna sink or swim now for the rookie. So, but I'm excited to see what he can do.
Jack, what's your thoughts? Are you excited, or you're like, I haven't seen enough yet? Which would be fair.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely haven't seen enough. The tight end has been a really weird conversation too. Like, when was it? Last week or 2 games ago when Kmet just had a horrible game?
2 games, yeah.
Okay, so then 2 games ago. And then it's just, I just feel like the usage is crazy. And some of the comments here are talking about Tyler Warren, but like Tyler Warren's usage is 10x what these guys are saying.
Oh, for sure.
It just is like our tight ends are very like blocker focused. Like how many guys lined up as fullback in the pistol? Like it was like constant. Like
Kmet a lot.
Right. And like their bait play, like I don't know. So, which is strange because Ben used Laporta so strongly when he was in Detroit. And then they get a top 10 pick. Like that's his top 10 pick. And then it's just not much usage. But I agree with you. Like when he gets the ball and has the opportunity, he's looked awesome. So what you said, like Kmet going down, if it's Lovelin's entire field here and he's getting 90% of the snaps from tight end, let's make it happen. Let's get the breakout game. And then we can start. I don't know. Since week 1, we've complained that we're not using our tight ends enough. So
yeah, I think you made a good point. I mean, obviously, we know Ben loves to run 12 personnel. They didn't run a lot of 12 personnel last game, by the way. I think it was like they ran 11 at like 90%, which is super high for the Bears. But I think you got a good point. They're out there. They're blocked. A lot of times they're blocking.
Right.
And I think Colston Lovelin's, like most of his targets are off of play action, rollout, easy dump. It's always to like a quick rollout, dump the ball off to Lovelin. He gets like an easy 5 to 8 yards, or it's a QB rollout, and then he finds them across like, intermediate sideline and hits them there. So yeah, maybe we'll see how it works, if they start to implement it more.
And I know we have some decent backup tight ends. So like we have, obviously it was Kmet and Lovelin as the starters. The other 2, Smythe. Yeah, I mean they can block, maybe make a catch or 2. But if Kmet is going to IR or he's out for a substantial time, 3 weeks or so, whatever it might be, That's a big miss because Kmet's been really, really good in the run game, blocking, passing. He's also, I think he has 9 receptions on the season. Nothing crazy, but just a really, really good player, veteran at this point. And to miss him, it would be tough. I guess you can eliminate some false starts. He's had a couple.
Yeah, he loves false starting this season, which is crazy.
So, I mean, it's like maybe, I don't know what that looks like, but I love to see. I wish we could have seen those 2 tight ends kind of get going a little bit more because, Jack, like you said, I thought for sure we would just see a little bit more potency out of those, maybe that part of the offense. But again, I think everything's kind of just not where it's supposed to be, where we expected it to be. But man, the Bears are 4-2, and they beat Minnesota week 1. Man, they're 5-1. And now I know you can argue, right? They're a block kicked and a game-winning kick, but it's like, man, you just tweak that Minnesota game, you're 5-1 right now, and you're probably feeling exactly where we are right now, where it's like, we're still not where we need to be, not firing all cylinders, but you're 5-1, and doing that in this league is tough, especially if you're not playing your best football. So
yeah, that's another thing too. It's like you have a lot of weapons, so you're never gonna have, you can't be like, man, I wish Kmet and Lovelin looked like they're getting more. And it's like, I want DJ to get more. I want Rome to get more. It's like, well, unless you're the Dallas Cowboys, that's kind of hard to do. You got to be scoring like 40 points a game. So I'm glad what they're doing is working enough to where they're winning, and hopefully they can just stack onto it. And then maybe we'll start to see like some breakouts, like Jack said, right? Especially with the tight end position, because I know that's one of the hardest transitions from college to the NFL. Because in college, a lot of time it can be a lot of wide receiver focus. And when you come to the NFL, your ass is blocking, right? So you really have to learn like a lot of the O-line stuff. And fun fact, most of the best offensive minds were tight end coaches at some time, Shanahan, Ben Johnson, because a tight end basically has to know the offensive line. They're sometimes in the fullback, right? So they have to understand the run game. They're also out flexed as wide receivers, so they know like a full aspect of the offense. So it can take a little bit of time for them to get developed. And you see that with even some of the best tight ends all time, like their rookie years, it's not like they went crazy. So let's give it time with him, see how that fares out. Hard to compare against Warren. Obviously, Warren's tight end 1, and his target share is 10 times more than what Colston is. So,
hey, I want to share something real quick from the Bears locker room. It looks like Bears center Drew Dolman kind of was asked about the snap issues, and I thought this was interesting. He goes, they were 100% on him, said he wasn't on the right cadence today. For me, this just feels like it could be, I know there was issues all around, but this makes sense as to maybe why it just looks so weird. Everything. Like I know outside just the ones that were bad, like the snaps, right? But everything kind of just felt a little off in the passing game. And so for me, I thought that's interesting that Drew admit, he was honest. So yeah, it's me. On the wrong cadence. I wonder how long they were. Just maybe couldn't get lined up. I know it's hard to do mid-game and everything, but it's like, damn.
Especially that first half.
Yeah.
It was very.
I thought that was interesting.
Was there an issue? Was there an issue in the second half? No, right? So maybe they actually
didn't. No, wasn't the field goal? The field goal was in the second half. Because, like, remember, it was in the third quarter where it's like, oh, my gosh, we don't – because they're going to go for it on fourth down.
You're right.
And we're like, damn, this is like the announcers actually said something noteworthy. Like, actually, I was like, I kind of agree with for the first time, like, all game. They're like, the football comes down to, a lot of just, like, singular plays where it's like you either get it and you win the game. If you don't, you probably end up losing it. And for me, thank God we were saved by that false start because, obviously – the snap by Dolman, he didn't let go of it, kind of double clutched it. Yeah. But for me, that was in the second half. And that was a big one where if we don't get points there, I'm not saying that we're losing because it's Spencer Rattler and the Saints. They're just kind of dysfunctional. But man, that could have been costly. It happened both in the first and the second.
Yeah, and that put us up 9, I think, or something like that. So that was huge because it'd be a 9-point game to being a 6-point game. They can march down, score a touchdown, and now we're down. So I agree with you completely. Yep. Crazy how
would you have taken the points there? Were you excited? Were you not excited? Were you okay with Ben Johnson being aggressive in that situation, trying to get 7 on because you're on the 2, your defense is playing great. You don't get it. The Saints are on their own 2-yard line, or do you just take the points there and you go up 9 instead of risking not getting the 3? and you say you like I said, you don't get it, and you're only down 6, touchdown, you're down 1.
Right now, how I've been is I kind of trust Ben Johnson. There was a graph that came out, I think it was earlier this week, about how coaches, their decision to go for it on 4th down, how detrimental it has been to them, as in like they losing points and the impact of losing those points. I can't remember exactly how it was graded out, but at the very bottom, I think 3rd from the bottom was Ben Johnson. So basically he says Ben Johnson was very calculated with his decisions on going for it or not. And most times either they were successful, or when they weren't successful, it didn't end up being detrimental. The impact of it wasn't as bad. Right. So seeing that, obviously also looking at the eye test, I'm kind of like, if Ben Johnson thinks we should go for it, I'm okay with it. And let's be real, when's the last time they went for it and they didn't get it? And you're like, wow, that cost us like tremendously. Typically not. And a lot of times they also, I think they have a pretty high success rate on 4th down as well. So I was okay with it. Obviously, after the false start or whatever, the pump fake on that snap, you're kicking the field goal. You better not go for it fucking there. And they didn't. But I was okay with the decision. What about you, Jack? How have you felt about the fourth down?
No, I would have gone for it too. What Dave said, like the defense was playing out of their mind. Spencer Rattler looked lost like the entire game. Like he definitely had like the solid drive to end the half, but besides that, he looked just terrible. So like I don't know why you wouldn't go for it. I feel like you would want to pass there because you ran 3 times. It didn't work. You didn't score. But then I forget, was it pistol or something? Like we weren't in shotgun. Like it seemed like it was going to be another run.
It was under center for sure.
It was under center, right? Yeah. Then with Swift. And then I was like, so that part confused me. And he did initially like run back unless it was play action, it could have been.
Yeah, probably play action, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. But always like we got Ben Johnson knowing that, and the announcer said it 500,000 times, which was annoying, but they weren't wrong. Like Ben Johnson, we knew he's aggressive and he's going to go for things and he's going to play like Ben Johnson's offense. So like we got him. We knew that there was not a moment where any Bears fan was like, he's kicking a field goal right here. Not a single one of us said that. So yeah, I would trust Ben Johnson. He's popping.
Yeah, trust Ben Johnson until he proves me wrong. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for the decisions he makes. So yeah, as Michael said here, in Ben we trust. So okay, before I know we're getting close here, let's get to the second ad read, and then we're gonna go over our Caleb and Ben meters. We'll go over our team grades, and then we'll have our voicemails and shout outs like always, and we'll end the show. So let's get to our second ad read here. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR Podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the support from really all platforms, but especially YouTube. Way over 10,000 subscribers now. So appreciate it. Bears are winning, so it's a great time to join the BFR Bears Film Room, especially if you guys want to check out just obviously instant reactions, post-game shows, previews, and everything like that. So appreciate the support. I think we have a couple more things to get to.
Yep,
is that correct?
Definitely do. Well, again, these the meters will be a little bit quick because there's not much change here. But let's go to our Caleb meters here first. I ticked mine down just a little bit here. It's still in the yellow. I had him in the yellow, so it's not concerning, but it wasn't great. And now if he has another dud next week, I won't feel really too fond of that. But overall, it's just one game. It was his worst performance, and that's okay. They got to win. I'm not concerned. Now, if it looked like Spencer Rattler, that'd be different. If it was like one of those disastrous type games, then I'd be like, fuck. But it wasn't really that bad, if we're being honest. Let's go to you though, Dave. I don't think yours changed, right?
Yeah, it changed. Just went down a little bit. I've had it all the way up for the most part for the season. I want to give him some time. I would say it looks like it's in the green, but I'd say just a little bit in the yellow right now. So a little bit over 3/4. I'm not going to panic. I think Ben Johnson is a great teacher. I think it was always going to take some time. You see Jaden Daniels is struggling right now too in today's game. These young quarterbacks, it takes time. I say Drake May's kind of balling though.
Oh my God. I saw a crazy stat by him. Sorry not to cut you off, but he's had like 90% completion rate. The last person to do that was Tom Brady. I mean, I'm like, God damn, bro. He looks good.
He
looks good, which is fine. Look, you can have multiple good guys, but yeah, he just looks good. So I got to give hats off.
Yeah, absolutely. But Caleb was number one. So there's expectations that unfortunately come with that. So
of course,
I'm not going to bail on him. I'm excited to see him continue to grow and to do it while winning is that much better. Because then you're going to be playing some meaningful football games, especially these coming up, right? So great opportunity for Chicago. Excited about Caleb still. So
absolutely. Jack, what you got?
Same thing, kind of same spot. I'm not losing faith at all. It was just kind of like a mediocre game. I haven't seen anything too crazy. Still, like, he's a very, very good quarterback. I'm happy we have him, but just to get to that full meter, it's just gonna have to be a little bit more. But we all knew that, and we haven't, like you said earlier in the show, we haven't seen his best football yet. So,
well, look, he hasn't even thrown for, which is a lot of quarterbacks haven't in the NFL because of the way people are playing defenses. But he hasn't even thrown for 300 yet. Right. He had a 298, I think, right, or 290 something. Okay. But he hasn't even had a 300. And last year he had some 300.
He was 2 yards away.
Yeah, it was 298 then. So. But he's had last season, I think he had like 3 or 4 300-yard games. So it doesn't mean he can't get there. That's not the only barometer to determine if your quarterback's good or not, right? I don't need him to throw 300 and be like, oh, he's the GOAT now. But it was more of just to say that tells you that there's a lot of good football left that can be played. So, and like Ben Johnson said himself, hopefully they're playing their best football in December and January, and maybe we'll start to see it there. And speaking of Ben Johnson, let's get to the Ben meters here as well. Not much change on many of these either. Look, I think he's in the green. Maybe I bump him up even more because he actually challenged a very big play, and he won it. And it was huge because it went from them converting a 3rd and 20 to now they have to punt because there's a forward pass by Taysom Hill, which was an awesome play, by the way. If they had executed that correctly, had me shocked like a motherfucker. That was awesome. But yeah, overall, I feel good about Ben Johnson when he's done with this team. Again, he's won 4 straight, so you're going to be in the green. There's no way you can't. So,
yeah, I'm not going to move on him either. I know we'll bring up my meter. Not much to say. 7 games in, I think he's, not a miracle worker, but man, from what he's doing, the stuff he has to overcome sometimes with the Bears still being young, make mistakes, penalties. I'm super stoked and super hot. Nothing's changed with Ben Johnson. Also, shout out to Dennis Allen. We should have a meter on him.
I know.
Shit should be.
Yeah, his shit would be off the screen. Yeah, he's going crazy. Jack, what you got?
Yeah, mine same as you. 4 wins in a row, new team, and he looks good. The only reason I don't have it full is the penalties to me are just like, it's a real problem. Yeah, like it actually is. And like, if this were to be a closer game, say like there was an extra mistake or like Saints converted on something and it became that 1-score game, these penalties they'll kill us at some point. So I don't know. I don't think it's a discipline issue. I don't know what the problem is, but it's like, it's always the same thing too. It's always like, cause there's bullshit flags. Like,
I was gonna say some of them are bullshit, but yeah.
Like, sorry, our center not knowing the cadence. Like, it's like these things. I don't understand how it's happening. And I know it's football and like people do make mistakes constantly, but when it's now for the 6th straight game, I don't know. There's something off with that. But erase that. full meter.
Yeah, I think they had, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember one of the post-game shows I talked about how they had no pre-game penalties. It was a big win. Maybe that was Dallas. And so I felt hopeful after that. I was like, okay, yeah, look, this is what you want. Offense is starting to hum. We're turning a corner now. Look how, there weren't many penalties. And then the game after that, Washington, I think they had penalties. The game after that, which is this one, they had penalties. I mean, I'm saying like the penalties you're talking about, Jack, where it's like, come on, bro.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
they seem like these are discipline issues, especially the pre-snap penalties. Those are always the worst because that is 100% discipline. Not like you accidentally grab someone or something like that. It's all mental pre-game snap penalties. So they need to clean those up for sure.
Right. That was my only complaint, I guess, with him.
No, I think that's fair. There's definitely room to grow. This isn't a perfect team, and he's a first-time head coach. He's trying to figure things out as well. So there's definitely room for improvement. I actually like that. So, all right, let's get to the team grades. Then we'll have the voicemails, and then we'll head out of here. So looking at the grades of the game, I'll start here. I'm going to go offensive B, and that's because the run game was so dominant, right? Run game, I'm giving an A+. Pass game, I'm giving like a C-. And so the middle for me is like a B. I think that's fair. The defense, you don't have 4 takeaways and not get an A+. What else would you want them to do? I don't care if you gave up 500 yards. You gave your offense 4 more chances to score points. Special teams, I'll give it A+. Jake Moody, ? Or is that Cairo gone? We'll have to see about that. They didn't do anything to shoot themselves in the foot, so you get an A+ for me. And then coaching, I'm going to say B. And I think it goes back to what we were just talking about, right? The penalties, if those can get cleaned up, then that looks more like an A. Dennis Allen, I'll say, is probably like an A, but the offensive ones, it seems like we had more issues on that side, especially penalty-wise. So, Dave, what about you? What you got?
Yep. So offense C-. I think they're at a C- strictly for that run game. The offensive line was moving guys. Keep them. I just love what they did there and what they've been doing it since the bye. Offense passing obviously needs to improve. That's why this grade is just so low. If we were just average, I think you'd bump this up to probably a B-. Defense A, playing out of their mind. Can't say it enough. I know we joked about like they're either going to give up a touchdown or get a turnover. Today, I thought was a lot better. Maybe their best performance where they were just stopping. They were just stopping Spencer Rattler and the Saints. Obviously, they had a couple flukes at end of the half, right? The 56-yarder where Tyreek Stevenson was burnt toast on that one.
Yeah.
But overall, defense is just awesome. Special teams B+. Tory Taylor, I think, is he's proven his worth. He has some really, really awesome punts. And it's really when the Bears need it too, in my opinion. So in coaching, I'm gonna say a B. I think just maybe that's really low. Maybe it should be higher. I think they overall do a really good job of getting these guys ready. I think sometimes with special teams that there's some really good moments, but I'm just not 100% like loving the return game. In my opinion, even on punts or kickoffs, it's just like, they're going to catch it. Yeah.
No, I agree on punt. You'd want to see more. Kickoffs are tough, man. I've been watching just across the league, and I get why they implemented the new kickoff rule because now you're getting returns, but it is not an easy task.
No, you're right.
But I feel you though. You'd want to see more. You figure we'd have like one big play by now, and I don't think we have, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I don't think so. We haven't had like a big punt return or a big kick return yet, right? I know we're nitpicking, but I don't think so. So no, I think it's fair analysis, Dave.
Cool. Jack
would. Yep. And then offense B-. Again, pass game didn't look great. Run did. We talked a lot about that. Defense out of their minds. What Dave said. Special teams A, I think it was a perfect game. The only thing was returns, but Ficky, you just said it. Returns are tough and they're different and it's weird. So it is what it is. Jake Moody had a hell of a game. Tory had a hell of a game for his. I think he only punted once, but still. And then coaching B, kind of similar to what you guys had as well.
Yeah, I think it's fair. We all were actually pretty similar in our grading system. But I think, the obvious stuff was obvious. Running game, bad. Everything else is passable, or serviceable. So, a good outing by the team, and that's why they ended up winning, right? So we'll take that four straight. So love that as we get ready for the Ravens next week, which is going to be a real fucking test.
I'm excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited about it.
Yes. We're in a good position.
One. You win that one.
Oh.
5-2. Ooh.
I'm on now. About those playoffs.
I'm smelling it. I'm smelling it right now. A little wild card. The NFC North is nasty, dude.
Well, luckily the Vikings
is so good, dude. Yeah, but still, it's like the Packers. Then you got Detroit, who's 4-2, I think, as well.
Yeah. Packers
right?
have
Or 5-2.
Lions are 4-2. Packers are technically 3-1-1 because they have that tie, which is crazy. But yeah, crazy. NFL's crazy, man. Bears stomp the Cowboys, but the Cowboys tie the Packers. But if the Bears Cowboys play, Packers are stomping the Bears, right? Or at least that's what we would expect. But yeah, the NFL's crazy. Parity is anyone can win any given Sunday. So we have a chance against the Ravens. And if this team's ready to rock and roll, they definitely can beat that team. So yeah, getting Booker and Grady back, Eduardo would be huge for next week. We're definitely going to need as many of our guys back for that matchup for sure. Okay, let's get to the voicemail line. We have 6 of them, so it probably won't take too long. We'll run through these. We'll do our shout-outs as we always, and then we'll close the show. Let's start with Michael. I believe this is Michael, the Patreon member, our Grizzly from across the pond. Let's see what you have to say, Michael.
Let's fucking go. Bears win another game. Run game's looking good. It would be nice if the passing game can work as well as the running game at the same time. Defense is looking brilliant. Let's go Bears.
Love it. Thank you, Michael. Definitely from across the pond when you hear the brilliant. That's definitely it. But appreciate that. Thank you for staying up late for that game, too, because I know those can be late. Let's go to Tony next.
Hey there. This game is a game. We've been playing pretty good in terms of defense, for sure. Defense has been killing it. Shouldn't have given up some of those points, especially that one touchdown towards the end of the half. I feel like we kind of gave up there, but we have been doing so really well. Running game on offense has been incredible. Been killing it. Been doing awesome. Just the passing needs to get better. 164 yards to Caleb Williams. I wish he had gotten more. Again, beggars can't be choosers. I know I know everyone at the end of the game is happy, but I would love to see the passing game be more on top of it. It was a little frustrating to see it not be the way that it normally is. So we're gonna take it as it is. Either way, we play the Ravens next week. We really need to get our game on. If Lamar Jackson's coming back next week potentially, we need to be on top of it. Bear down. Let's go.
Love it. Thank you, Tony.
God, wouldn't it be just poetic? It would be so nice to have Lamar Jackson sitting out one more week just to make sure he's good to go.
Yeah, we want player safety, dude. Player safety. It's nothing with the Bears. I just want him to be healthy and safe.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it is.
Beating up on the Ravens, dude, without Lamar.
Oh my God, Lamar's so tough to stop. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Oh man, he's incredible. So yeah, sit out, Lamar. You'll be all right. You know, your guys are 1-5. Your season's over. Just sit out. You'll be all right. Let's get to Mason next here.
Yo, what's up, BFR Podcast? This is Mason, and this is my first time making back-to-back recordings. So yeah, it was a good game. Last time I recorded, I was like quiet and everything because I didn't want to wake up my roommates. But man, fuck that, man. The Bears won a football game. This was easy. We stepped up to the plate. We beat the Saints. Oh, it was so easy, man. The run game was amazing. DeAndre Swift, Monungai, just running it up the throats of the defense, just right up there. It was an amazing game to watch. Stress-free, except until the start of the second half. That's when I don't know. But that's football. Maybe the Bears aren't a perfect team. But we got it done. Our pass game was atrocious, but, we made passes when we needed to. All right. Caleb Williams, not his best game, but I see improvements going to the next games, Man, the Bears won an easy game. The only thing I'm mad about is I didn't start the Bears defense on my fantasy football, but, you can't be mad. Bears win. Let's go. Let's go to next week. Lamar Jackson. We're going to face Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. Come on. We might be an underdog, but come on. We need to win those games. We need to win those games. This is 4 wins in a row. Let's keep on pushing. Keep on going. Because you know what? Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Come on. Until your good gets better and your better gets best. Come on. Yeah, this is Chicago Bears football. Bear down, guys. Let's go.
Love it. Love the enthusiasm there. Definitely a much
Yeah,
different
absolutely.
vibe than the last one for sure.
I love it.
Let's go to Jerome next.
Gotta say, gentlemen, that was a dirty feeling W, but I'll take it. I'll take it over losses all day. It's Jerome from Darien. I'm just happy that the Bears got the dub, but Jesus Christ, did they need to fix that offense. That passing game looked awful today. The running game and the defense saved us. We should be thankful for it because we've seen plenty of other games go the other way in our lifetime. But thank God the Bears got the dub. It'll be another victory Monday. Now, hopefully, they can get this stuff cleaned up before next Sunday, and we can have another victory Monday. Because Jesus Christ, I do not want to sit through another ugly, ugly performance like that. That was just yuck. But you know what? Sometimes your wins are a little bit ugly in the NFL, so I'll take it. Bear the fuck down. Let's go, baby.
Thank you, Jerome. Appreciate it. You know what? I didn't realize, but we kind of watched like a typical Bears game that we hate watching, where it's nothing but defense and running the ball, right? But hey, we should be used to it by now. But appreciate that, Jerome. Let's go to Sam here, and then we have Ivan at the end.
What's up, boys? Cannot be mad at a 4-game win streak whatsoever. That doesn't really happen much for this team, so we got to take it when we can. This defense is playing lights out. I believe they have 3+ turnovers in each of their last 4 games, so that'll be our 4-game winning streak. And I got to be honest, if we don't have our defense playing like that, I'm not sure we win 3 of those games, realistically. And I'm pointing to New Orleans, and I'm pointing to Las Vegas, and I'm pointing to Washington, too. But anyway, moving on. Thank God that Ben Johnson and Eric Bieniemy came together and got this run game going, because that is the one part of this offense right now that is just seems to be revitalized. Swift and Monungai are complementing each other perfectly. A little thunder and lightning that he's bringing over from Detroit there. So hopefully that will continue. Now, obviously, we just need more from number 18. We need more from number 18. And I'm confident that Ben's going to be able to get him to that point. But right now, where the issue is just I think that Caleb is playing a tick too fast, right? You can see it when he's scrambling out of the pocket and trying to extend plays. There are open players that are 7 yards down the field that can help move the chains and keep these drives alive. But it seems like he's looking for those 40-yard bombs to develop, and they're just not developing at a consistent pace. Like, he needs to know it's okay to take a 5-yard scramble. It's okay to dump off to one of your tight ends that's going to get you a 7-yard pickup, because that means higher likelihood of moving the chains, right? So be Superman, but you got to find that happy medium. You got to find that balance. And once he finds that balance, in conjunction with a good running game, and hopefully the way that this defense has been playing, that could be continuous, we're going to really start to see what this team can do. Bear down. Enjoy your Sunday. Hope you boys are having a great one. See you later.
Great analysis, Sam. Appreciate that.
Love Sam. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Let's go to Ivan to finish it up.
Hi guys, this is Ivan here. Greetings from Mexico. I just want to say that I'm pretty happy about today's game. I know there was a couple of things that were not good, like the offensive game and like the passing game. Caleb wasn't as good as we would like him to be, but at the end of the day, the defense was on point and they were making big stoppage. The turnovers, of course. And especially the thing that I like the most about this game, besides of winning, that's the clear thing. And it's great that this happened to Caleb on a game like this against the Saints, against a team that is not as strong as other teams. Because if it would have happened against, I don't know, the Lions, well, we know how this ends. Like, if we don't have a well-rounded game against those teams, then we lose. But if we don't have a well-rounded game in this kind of games against teams like the Saints, well, there's there's ways to overcome it and win the game as we did, and I really liked it. I really liked that, and I just wanted to also recognize the rushing game. It was good. Both guys, Swift and Monungai. I've never been able to pronounce his last name. I'm sorry, but yes, I really like the game because of that, and just enjoy the win, enjoy the 4-win streak, and I mean, I'm happy because of that.
It's awesome. Bears Film Room International. Appreciate that, Ivan from Mexico.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. We really do appreciate that. We love hearing where you guys are from. So if you guys send in voicemails, feel free to let us know. We love to see how, where our community's at. So appreciate all the voicemails from this week. That was awesome. Bears got a win. Positive vibes. Fantastic. I'm gonna roll through the give a shout out to our OGs and the new face gang here, and then also we'll go through our our Patreon. We got to give a shout out to our Grizzly members like always, and then we'll end the show here. So first up, we got Michael Berry Sr., who is a Patreon. He's a Grizzly. Said, "Where are my Grizzlies at?" #OG. We got JoJo Peril, which I think is in Peril on YouTube, with the #OG. Bears are 4-0 since my daughter was born September 21st. Congrats on the daughter. She's a good luck charm, so we love that. Appreciate that. Michael from across the pond, who sent a voicemail with the #OG. Defense check, running game check, special teams check, passing game basically needs to be better. And you're spot on there. Pascal Johnson here with the game ball. The game ball goes to the defense and the running game. You're absolutely right with the #OG. Appreciate that. We got MCM Hero on YouTube with the #OG. I'm getting glimpses of the old 2018 Bears defense. Going to be a fun year. I mean, they're leading the league in takeaways right now, and that's what the 2018 defense did. So you're spot on with that. Kyler Villa-Gomez with the #OG Bear Down. Got the job done. Shout to Swift, and I love Ben Johnson. We're right there with you, Kyler. Ken XZ8RO on YouTube, #OG. I feel like Caleb needed to run the ball more. The Saints didn't respect his legs. Yeah. Yep, we agree with that as well. Mr. James here on YouTube with the #OG. Ugly wins still count. A dub's a dub. You're right. We got Lomed on YouTube with #OG. We get her done. We did. And then we got Jay, who also is a Patreon member, said #OG. I love life. Yes. Weekends always feel better when a Bears win. So thank you, Chicago Bears, for making our mood positive and giving us a good start to this week. Okay. Appreciate all of the OGs in there. We love that you guys are all active in the chat. Give you a shout out. We love giving you a shout out because, again, this is the Bears Film Room Podcast, the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. Dave, Jack, and I are fans like y'all. We go through the ups. We go through the downs of this team. A lot of ups recently, which we love. But we're here to bring an awesome show to y'all and put you guys on the pedestal because you guys are fantastic. So we always want to show love to you fans because you guys show love to us. And that's why Bears Film Room is the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. So we're going to give a shout out to even more of our fans. Let's get to got to give a shout out to our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. So Michael from across the pond, Gage, Phil, who's in the chat, Michael Berry in the chat as well. Got to give a shout out to y'all, Angie Wright, Daniel Jones, Thomas Whitty, Tito, and then we have Dave as well. Shout out to all of our Hall of Fame Grizzlies. Y'all rock. And then also our rookie Grizzlies, Alex Hamilton, Chris Ford, Ethan Schultz. We got Caleb and we got Jason. Appreciate all of you. And then I also want to give a shout out to our Discord winners again from this week, from the last week's weekly score prediction. So got to give a shout out to Bear Down, Pearl, Deck, Nibber, and then the Big Easy. Shout out to y'all for winning the gift cards to the BFR store. And if you want to join in on that competition, you can join our Discord for free. Link is in the description. We run a free weekly score prediction competition every week where you can win a free gift card to our store. So again, thank you to our Grizzly members. If you want to join the den and be awesome like Dan, you can do that. Links in the description. Shout out to all of our OG members. If this is your first time, shout out to you as well for joining the Bears Film Room family. And I think that is it. Boys, we got anything else? Any final words?
No, going to go hate watch the Packers-Cardinals game. It's 6-3. Cardinals are driving. We'll see. Packers lose. That'd be huge for this NFC North, just the standings overall. Throughout this week. So I hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy it. Big game next week against the Ravens. We'll see what we can do. So hope you guys enjoy the week. Bear down.
Peace.